Thank you so much for providing the platform for me to speak my heart and showing up with open ears and open hearts. I have to provide a disclaimer because sometimes my words may be controversial. I'm not in the business of intentionally offending anybody, nor am I in the business of making friends. I happen to be a writer, therefore I'm in the business of telling the truth. And the truth is the only line of defense that we have to protect us from Orwellian nightmares and dystopian futures. This piece here is called Mornings Without You and Masterpieces by Midnight. Quote, "If you have to ask what jazz is, you'll never know." Unquote, Louis Armstrong. In the Bible passage, 1 Corinthians 13:13, Paul the Apostle tells us that three things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Well, sorry, Paul. It's actually four things, and none of these are any that you've mentioned. Four things will last forever: sex, drugs, murder, and jazz. And the greatest of these is jazz. It is winter, but the memory is autumn. What would it be like if you lived long enough to see this Christmas? Run, dance it out of you, lick the sunburn, and desire the last time. Torment the nights that haunt you, seeing the screaming laughter hiding the dying of insides. Don't go out in silence. You and I are not a masquerade, charade, parade. Jazz is the moment you gave me trust that you didn't give to anyone else. The night that you let me slip between your legs to explore a world I've never really known before. Jazz is the time you told me not to let go, the moment you were my clarity, the moment we had an orgy with Jupiter's moons under his Jovian rainbows. Kaleidoscopic daydreams of only black and white, cigarettes slow burn, a language of smoke and rum sparkling in the mirror. Cocaine fast churning through the blood, it becomes clearer and clearer. I would have stayed longer if you would have lived through this. What would we be like this Christmas if you had lived through this? The acid doesn't make me sip any less or any slower. Is it a must now that we both die by booze? There is nothing to get hard over anymore. Jazz is the barrel of the .357 Smith & Wesson that was in my mouth and replaced by the mouthpiece of a baritone saxophone. The moment I escape the beasts and ghosts, jazz is the black heart angels from my dreams creeping up to dance with grace. Jazz is the dashing matador of my mind. Jazz is the skipping beats that dissolve me over and over again, bringing life back from the dead. Iambic poetry and bass lines scattered across our bedroom floor each night as the sheets soaked up our DNA. The sunbeams of summer each morning after we're peeping toms through the blinds, illuminating the peach fuzz on the back of your shoulders, reminding me that we were mammals. That devil inside us, the hateful looks we shared at times, despising each other to the point we both slept next to each other with one eye open. Yes, let's not leave that out. Let's not forget about the deep and low brass symphonic playing in the background when we were rivals first and lovers second. You were the better writer, but I was the better musician. Or maybe it was the other way around. I'm concussed from us butting heads so much. Jazz is inevitable and uncontrollable rivalry that makes your nose bleed sweet cocktails and your teeth crave black lace lingerie. A fiery snowstorm of dragon ladies brought back to the apartment to feast on and to do lines off of. Jazz is pheromones and self-fulfilling prophecies. Jazz is clothes off from Masterpieces by Midnight. Jazz is the bite marks on our necks and the scratches on our backs. Jazz is tearing each other apart for euphoria in the lowlands. Jazz is hands and tongues all over it. Jazz is when I turned your teardrops into diamonds. Jazz is the botched heist that you never knew about with the amateur that put a moon rock through the skull of the security guard that was just doing his job. Jazz is seeing a dead body for the first time. Jazz is eyes without life behind them, alone with family just for a couple pieces of jewelry that paid rent for just a couple of months. Jazz is paranoia, regret, and nightmares. Jazz is knowing that you will be repaid in kind. Jazz is not knowing when. There would be no Fitzgerald, no Hemingway, no Burroughs, Ginsberg, Kerouac, or Hunter Thompson. Without Jazz, there would be no Wolfe, Kesey, Easton Ellis, or even Palahniuk. Without missing you through Jazz, I would not have the courage to preserve and cherish the tangled, messy memories of Randall Patrick McMurphy and Dean Moriarty. Without missing you, I would not have the fight to cherish myself, the absolute fucking chaos inside of order, Jazz, or as biologists call it, life.